Thank you.
I think I'm on mute. Nope. Okay. Today's share should be as chusfer for Taya Bas Chana and Yaakov Bas Miriam. Shabbat for Shlema Ugemura Unaima. Okay. So we are holding to be a pleasant recovery. All right. So today's daf is Mem Daled. We're going to start on Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Three lines from the bottom. Tanya. Hamafkir es Sadeu. Somebody who is mafkir his field. He says, I am mafkir this field, heavy after the hour, whatever he says. So for the first 3 days, he has a right of rescission, and he can repeal that claim of hefker. Mikan va'elach, but from that point forward, ein yachol lachzor bo. He is not allowed to go back. Now, if you recall back to our Mishnah, who does that sound like? That sounds like the opinion of the Chachamim, which said that I can be mafkir my sandwich on a rock or on a fence post, and immediately my friend can eat it. That was the opinion of the Tanakh of the Mishnah. That's the opinion of the Rabban. Top of Mem Daled Amud Aleph. However, Amar tehei sadazum ufkeres liyom echad. If somebody says, my field is going to have a hefker status for 1 day, l'shabos achas for 1 week, l'chodesh echad for 1 month, l'shana achas for a year, or l'shavua echad, or for 1 full shemitah cycle, ad shelo zacha ba bein hu bein acher yachol achzer bo. As long as nobody else, or even himself, claims, sorry, I'm distracted by this. As long until such point as somebody else, or even the mafkir himself, claims or reclaims the product, the item, then he can repeal it. However, misha zachaba bein hu bein acher ein yachal achzor bo. But once somebody else claims it, or even if he himself claims it, then he is not able to repeal his hefker. So we clearly see Reisha Rabbanan, that the Reisha, which had the 3-day right of rescission thing, that is like the opinion of the Chachamim in our Mishnah. Seifa, Rabbi Yossi. But the Seifa appears to be Rabbi Yossi because we know that Rabbi Yossi holds that just like a matana is not considered fully given over until the recipient takes possession, he had a same din by hefker, that the hefker process is not complete until somebody else picks up the item. Thank you very much. That I was mafkir. So to answer this question of how can you have a Mishnah that's Seifa Rabbanan, Reisha Rabbanan Seifa Rabbi Yossi, Amar Ula, the truth is Seifa Nami Rabbanani. The truth is that the Seifa is really also acceptable according to the opinion of the Rabbanan. Now, why is that? If you look at the Rashi on the first wide line, Amar Ula Sefer Nami Rabbanani, Devadai Mideoraisa, because Mideoraisa, Afagav Delo Asya L'Rishus Zoche Havi Hefker, the altar, that even if, now this is again in the opinion of the Chachamim, even if this item does not get to the hands of the Zoche, it's immediately Hefker. V'afilu miyom rishon, even on day 1. So now, therefore, the immediate question is, well, then why in this case of it's hefker for a day, a week, a month, a year, 7 years? Do the Chachamim agree with Rabbi Yossi that the waiting period is valid? So that's for the first 3 days. Hang on a second. Hold on. We're going to get to that in a minute. Down in the Rashi, 6-7 lines down. The Sefer Damar Achelu Zacha Balo Habi Hefker, the Mashma the Asi the Rishus Zocha. So the Sefer, which we are now saying that even the Rabbanan would agree that it's not Hefker till it gets to the hands of the Zocha. Hainu Taima. Why is that? The shiny Chodesh V'Shana V'Shavua Delo Shlicha. That sort of Tanai is not common. Because it is not people's normal activity to be mafkir something with a particular time limit. And since That's not a normal case. We see that this individual who was mafkir for a certain amount of time was really reserving certain rights for himself. He didn't really want to be mafkir it fully in the normal way. So because of that, even the Rabbanan would agree to Rabbi Yossi that in those cases where somebody was mafkir for a day, a week, a year, whatever it is, that it's not really hefker until it gets to the hands of the other person. So asks the Gemara 6 lines down in the middle, Ihachi, amay od shelo zacha ba bein hu bein echad bein acher yochol achzor bo. So the Gemara then wants to know if the Rabbanan agree to Rabbi Yossi in this case, then why is it that, and this is really going to be the answer that we just said, but why is it that according to the Rabbanan who hold that even on day one of the 3-day example, midoraisa is hefker, so why would they agree that when nobody else is zoche, the original mafkir can go ahead and repeal his hefker? Shiny shana b'shavua de lo shchichi. So just like we said, because that qualification, that tanai, that's not the normal way to do it. Now, Reish Lakish is going to argue not like this. Reish Lakish is going to say, "Mi the sefer Rabbi Yossi, Reishanami Rabbi Yossi." Reish Lakish is more interested in having this entire brisa be like the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. So we understand the seifa of I'm only mafkir for a day, a week, a year, and if nobody else claims it, I can always repeal. That's the Rabbi Yossi perfectly the way we've been describing it the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. But what about the Reisha? So the Reisha, Hainu Taima, the lo lishtakach Toras hefker. Why does Rabbi Yossi agree with the Rabbanan that if a person is mafkir something, that he has the right to rescind that hefker for 3 days, and after that he does not, in order that we not forget how hefker really works. So now asks the Gemara the obvious question, Ihachi afilu miyom harishon nami lehavi hefker. Well, if you're telling me that you don't want the process of hefker to be forgotten, then where did the 3 days come from? According to that, it should be hefker immediately. Amar Rabba. So Rabba says, and on this we will have a question, Mipnei haramain demafkirin v'hadrin behom. Because what are we concerned about here? What we're concerned is, let's say I have a basket of grain, and I'm like, oh, I mafkir this. What happens? The immediate result of something that is hefker, it's no longer chayav and trumas and maasros. So if I want to get off the hook for meiser, all I have to do is just be mafkir my stuff, and then 5 minutes later reclaim it, and then that item, no matter who claims it, is not obligated in meiser. So says Rabbah, the reason that we leave it for 3 days so that anybody else could legitimately come and take it is because of the Ramah, the people who are just trying to get out of the chovas hamaiser. The problem with that is that within the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Alvel de Oraisa lo habi hefker. But according to Rabbi Yossi holds that in order for hefker to take place mid Oraisa, it needs to go into the hands of somebody else. So in that case, and the Gemara therefore is concerned, Vidilma asi la'asure, Dilma asi la'asure, minachiv alaptur, uminaptur alachiyuv. If, according to Rabbi Yossi, the hefker in this case is only midrabanan, so people might think many things, and there are many, many different ways to explain these couple of lines in the Gemara. Rashi has 2 different explanations. The Ran has an explanation. I believe the Rush has an explanation that goes unlike either of them. So it's a little bit confusing. But my basic understanding, and it is basic, is the following. If, according to Rabbi Yossi, the hefker is not deraisa and it's only derabanan, but somebody else thinks that there's no chiyuv, even derabanan. So number one, you might come to not separate trumas and meiseros on this produce at all. Or if you think it's only midarabanan, you might come to be me'aser on this pile of grain from a different pile of grain, except it's very possible that this is actually meiser, it's chayiv meiser deoraisa, and then you're taking from something that is derabanan on a deoraisa, or you're taking something from a deoraisa on a derabanan, or you're not doing it at all. Either way, if this 3-day thing really kicks in, according to Rabbi Yossi. You're introducing the problem that you were trying to solve, which is making sure that people take Meiser on produce that is Chayiv Meiser. So how do we resolve for that? Damrina lay, we tell this person who was mafkir, this item, ki me asarta, aser mine ube. Don't take Meiser on anything else for this, or on this for anything else. And that way you won't confuse the status. So again, according to Rabbi Yossi, the Gemara is saying that according to Rabbi Yossi, after 3 days, even if nobody takes it, it's still not Hefker D'Oraisa. So you end up with this confusing situation of an uncertain product. You don't know what its Meiser status is. We're Choshesh for Ramain. So the way we get out of this all is that we say that we don't allow you, if you're the one who's being mafkir this, we don't allow you to be me'aser on this product for something else or something else for this product. Now, Meisiveh, 3 lines down on Mem Dalet Amud Beis. Hamafkir es karama ulashachar amar ubitzro. What if somebody is mafkir his vineyard and then he wakes up the next morning and to be botzer is to harvest the grapes. So he's obligated in all the agricultural mitzvos we have to ensure that poor people have access to food. Upater mina meiser. But we say that he is pater mina meiser. Now, now this is good according to Ula, who says that the entire brisa is according to the Rabbanon. Udeoraisa ketanile. And mideoraisa, the hefker is chal immediately. And that's why, even in this case, where the guy's mafker is vineyard and wakes up the next morning and his coats are the vineyard, he's pater mina meiser. Because mideoraisa, according to the sheet of the Rabbanon and our Mishnah, that is hefker. Hello, Reish Lakish. But according to Reish Lakish, who wanted to set up our entire brisa like Rabbi Yossi, who holds that mideoraisa, hefker doesn't take place until somebody else comes to grab it. Why was this person who was botzer pater from the meiser? He should have been chayav mideoraisa. So ela Reish Lakish and my pater mina meiser. Amar lacha. So Reish Lakish would say to you, Ki Amri Ana the Rabbi Yossi, Ki Amri Ana the Rabbi Yossi. When I said that he is, when I say that he is pater from the Meiser, that is only according to the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Excuse me, I got that backwards. Sorry. Hang on.
Right. No, that's right.
Right. Thank you. Okay, so I did get that right. Rabbanan he. But the other case, thank you. But the other case where Reish Lakish would say that's the case of the 3 days, that is like the opinion of the Rabbanan. Iba Yisema, another answer. And we're just going to finish the parak. I know the amudim are so tiny, but the stopping place is awkward. So we're just going to finish the parak, and I'll let Yoel or whoever's tomorrow figure out what to do. So Iba Yisema, another possible answer to resolve this kasha on Reish Lakish Mem Hamad Aleph. There's a difference when somebody is mafkir their possession in front of 2 people, and when they're mafkir their possessions in front of 3 people. Rabbi Yochanan the following. Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yehotzana, because Rabbi Yochanan taught the following: Kala mafkir b'fnei shlosha havi hefker. That anybody who's mafkir in front of 3 other people, that is a good hefker. B'fnei shnayim, but only in front of 2 other people, lo havi hefker. It's not hefker. For Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Amar Devar Torah, and this is the way we paskin. Afilu be'echad havi hefker. That even if you're mafkir in front of 1 other person, that's a good hefker. Umad midoraisa. Umad tam amru bishlosha. And what is the reason that according to Rabbi Yishmael ben Yehotzadak, as Rabbi Yochanan taught, that 3 is better? Sheyehe echad zoche, so that 1 of those 3 can actually pick up and acquire that newly mafkir item. Ushnayim me'idin, and 2 people, because we knew Shnei Eidim Yakum Davar, they can testify to the fact that this was properly hefkered and properly reacquired, which would resolve any lingering questions about the chiyuv meiser. Hadron alach ein vein amoder ad kan daf mem dalet and most of them hey.